Hello children. Today we are going to start lesson 3, Fiber to Fabric. In this chapter you will study about the fiber, kinds of fiber, how does fiber we get from the particular plant or animals. Children, when you visit to the shop or you see your wardrobe, you find the varieties of clothes, varieties of dress in your wardrobe in the shops and the market. Here, these varieties are differ because they are made up of different fibers, different fabrics. Like some fabrics used to be very soft, some used to be very heavy, some used to be very rough in touch, you know. We see variety of bed sheets, blankets, curtains, tablecloths, towels, many items which are made up of fibers. These fibers are knit together, weaved together in order to form fabric. And these fabrics are then cut down or stitched in beautiful dress. So, in this chapter we are going to see the journey of a fiber to form in the fabric. Before beginning of the chapter, just for your knowledge, I want to inform you, in the past days, in our history, the men were wearing unstitched clothes. Before it, I talk about clothes now. Before it, they were wearing the bark of trees, the skin of other animals in order to cover themselves. And before it, they were living nude. See, children, this clothes concept has come very later in our lifestyle. Before it, the animals were wrapping the bark of the trees or skins of the animals in order to protect themselves. Animals started growing crops, and then they started to make fiber, to obtain fiber from the natural resources. Then they start to view it in the fabric, and they were wrapping the fabric around their body. That was unstitched dress like lungi, dhoti, saris, turban. These all are the variety of unstitched dress. And after the invention of needle, the men started to stitch the fabrics into beautiful dresses. So, in this chapter, we are going to see all these processes. Children, in this activity, you are seeing that how the enlarged view of piece of fiber. The same thing I just want to show you. This is the piece of fiber in which you can see the various thin strands of fiber are weaved together. When I will separate it, so you will find that they are woven into a pattern, and that's why these thread structure are weaved into fabric, right? So here I just want to show you that the fabrics used to made up of fiber, right? In this activity, it has told you these fabrics are made up of these fibers. In this activity too, you will see that how a cotton fabric is made up of. As you have seen above, in the cotton fabric, the fabric is made up of yarn. So these yarn, basically, yarn are made up of fibers. See, I am showing you. These are the different yarns which are knitted, weaved together to form fabric. And when I have taken one of the yarn and I have tried to open it, so I found these yarns are made up of fiber. Means many fibers are twisted together in order to form yarn. I hope you got it. Okay, how the fiber turns into yarn and then yarn turns into fabric. I hope you have got that fiber turns into yarn by the process of spinning, and yarn turns into fabric by the process of weaving or knitting. To make you easily understand, I'm taking you all here. You can see here, fiber turns into yarn. These fibers are thinner strands which are twisted together, turned together in order to form yarn, and these yarn used to weave or knit together in order to form fabric. Here children, spinning, we have learnt a new term here. The spinning is the process of making yarn from the fibers. To learn it easily, you can see that fiber, then yarn. So, yarn is made up of fibers, and the process of making yarn by the twisting of various fibers is called spinning. Fabrics are made up of yarn. When yarn are interwoven with each other or knit with each other in a pattern to form various designs, then this is called fabric. So the process of making fabric from the yarn can be classified into two types, weaving and knitting. Weaving for cotton and knitting for woolen. Weaving actually we do with many process, many fibers. Children, now you better understand about the fiber, the thin strand, thread-like structure which we get from the natural or artificial source. It is called fiber, which turns into yarn to form fabric. Here, fibers used to be of two types, artificial fiber and natural fiber. Natural fiber is your main topic. Artificial fibers or man-made fibers are also called synthetic fibers. This you will study in higher classes. Abhi, the main topic from your book is natural fiber. Natural fiber are those fibers which we get from the natural resources. These can be get from the plant as well as can be get from the animals. All those fiber which we get from the plants are called plant fibers, and the fibers which we get from the animals are called animal fiber. For example, cotton, jute, flax, coir. Coconut fiber is called coir. And in case of animal fiber, wool and silk. I just want to introduce little about synthetic fiber, artificial fiber or man-made fiber. In this fiber, it used to prepare in the laboratory, and few examples are nylon, rayon. Students, I just want to show you the fibers. By touching them, we can find the types of fiber, right? This is the cotton fiber. When we touch the cotton fiber, it used to be very smooth. Cotton is basically worn in the summer season. As they are knit together, they have fine air gap, so they allow a good exchange of gases and your body heat comes out easily. The sweating, it absorbs lots of sweat. That is why it is very costly also. I'm telling you, it's very costly, and in summer people loves to wear the cotton dress. This is jute fiber. It used to be very strong, and this fibers used to be very rough in touch. That's why it is hardly used to make for the clothing purpose. But yes, jute fibers used to be very strong. They have good water holding capacity. They are used to make valuable items like gunny bags. So this is silk fiber, which is animal fiber. When you will touch the silk fiber, it is used to be very soft, and the appearance of silk fiber used to be very shiny. They have a very beautiful shine, and they used to be cost a wear because of their lustrous shine. This is woolen fabric, which used to, as you can see, I have net for you, and this fabric used to wear in the winter season, and this is also an animal fiber. Children, our first topic of some plant fibers is cotton. When we talk about the cotton, so we find that it is grown in the fields. Cotton plants are usually grown at places having black soil and warm climate. For example, West Bengal. The fruits of the cotton plant, called cotton balls, are about the size of lemon. After maturing, the balls burst open and the seeds covered with cotton fibers can be seen. Few lines which is important for this topic. Fibers are then separated from the seeds by combing. This process is called ginning of cotton. Ginning was traditionally done by hand. These days, machines are also used for ginning. As you have read, cotton plants grow in the field, then they bear lemon-sized cotton balls, and these lemon-sized balls used to contain seeds inside it, and these seeds, when get mature, then the cotton balls burst out and the fibers can be seen easily. When the ball bursts out, then the seeds fibers get separated, and the process of separate the cotton fibers from the seed is called ginning. Again, I am repeating, the process of separating cotton fibers from the seed is called ginning. It used to be done manually by hand, or it can people nowadays using machine for separating them. Then the separated fibers are this. They are used to be like this, as you can see, है ना? Beautiful cotton fibers. Yeah, I wish I can show you cotton balls, but right now I have just this. So they are lemon size, but not the cotton balls. But cotton balls used to appear like this, है ना? Used to be white in color. So when you see the field of cotton plant, cotton crops, so you will find that snows are at the top of the trees. They are white in color. As you can see, cotton fibers turn into long fibers. These cotton fibers turn into cotton yarn. I have written here fibers, which I should make yarn. So I am writing here Y-A-R-N, yarn. As in the school, you have taken part mostly for the decoration competition. So there you make this kind of wigged, and this is what yarn used to, fibers used to twist together in order to form yarn. Here this formation of a yarn by the fiber used to be done with the machines and as well as with the help of with your own hands. Here this process of making yarn from the cotton fibers is called spinning. And for this machines, the previously you have was the charkha, which was very famous during the independence movement, right? So charkha is drawn by the Gandhiji. The charkha as well as spindle, takli, these are common machines, usually Indian machines, for making the yarn, and the process of making yarn from the cotton fibers is called spinning. And from these yarn, the yarns used to weave with the help of machines into this fabric, है ना? So this fabric actually we have got from the weaving of yarn, right? So process of making fabric from the yarn is called weaving. In case of cotton, it is weaving. So the process of making cotton fabric from the cotton yarn is called weaving. And from the cotton fabric, when the fabric used to get ready, then it used to dye in the different colors to make the beautiful dresses. I hope you enjoyed it. Children, I'm moving to the another topic of plant fiber, that is jute. Jute fiber is obtained from the stem of jute plant. This is the jute plant, and from the stem of jute plant we get the jute fiber. It is cultivated during the rainy season. In India, jute is mainly grown in West Bengal, Bihar, and Assam. The jute plant is normally harvested when it is at flowering stage. The stems of the harvested plants are immersed in water for a few days. The stems rot and fibers are separated by hand. To make fabrics, all these fibers are first converted into yarns. See children, here we do not use machines. Reason, the jute fibers used to be very strong and they do not get easily separate out from the stem. That is why rotting of stems is important. The process of immersing the bundle of stem in the water is called retting. This jute plants, the stem of jute plants bundled together by tying tightly, and these stems used to sunk in water, into water. Acha. Here we use stagnant water, so we use it to select the pond, right? To where the stagnant water are present, in that water bodies, these stems used to get immersed. Afterwards, it is left for a few days. Afterwards, the bacteria eat on the stem and they used to feed on the bark of it, so that the gummy substance of the stem, which used to hold the fibers together, used to be eroded. Afterwards, the stems dry in the sun for 2 to 3 days. Then the fibers manually, the fibers separate from the stem. Fibers are then turned into fabric, but as I told, fibers used to weave into yarn and then it turns into fabrics, and these fabrics are used in the formation of materials. So this is the whole how the jute plant produce the jute fabric. As you can see in the activity 4, it has taught about making yarn from the fibers. The process of making yarn from fibers is called spinning. In this process, fibers from a mass of cotton wool are drawn out and twisted. This brings the fiber together to form a yarn. Already I have shown you in the activity. A simple device used for spinning is a hand spindle, also called chakli. Another hand-operated device used for spinning is charkha. Use of charkha was popularized by Mahatma Gandhi as part of the independence movement. You can see this is the charkha. Here, spinning of yarn on a large scale is done with the help of spinning machines. After spinning, yarns are used for making fabrics. There are many ways by which fabrics are made from yarns. The two main processes are weaving and knitting. In activity 2, already I have shown you how the piece of cloth has formed by the weaving of yarn. By seeing this cloth, you can recall the activity. The process of arranging two sets of yarn together to make a fabric is called weaving. We will also do this activity. Here I have to take 2 sets of paper in order to form this pattern. I am showing you how. As you can see, children, I have to choose 2 papers as to show the process of weaving. But as you know, during the lockdown, it's difficult to buy the items. So I have used this strips, and to make it colorful, I use this sketch pen. Children, in the process of weaving, as you have seen, one strand used to be go in, one time it comes out, then this used to be do with many colors to prepare the beautiful dresses. As you can see, I have completed this weaving process and I got this mat-like structure. And whenever you will observe any of the fabric, so you will observe this pattern. Yarns used to be weaved in this way so that it can be prepared into a fabric. Weaving of fabric is done on looms. The looms are either hand operated or power operated. This is the loom, but it is operated by hand, so it is hand loom. And if it is operated by the machines, then it is called power loom. Our next process is knitting. In knitting, a single yarn is used to make a piece of fabric. See children, in process of weaving, we are using more than one yarn, but in knitting, we are using a single yarn to make fabric. But for the design, ladies used to prepare the woolen clothes by using various designs, by using various yarns. Interesting. I am using a single yarn to make woolen fiber. To make woolen fabric. As you can see, this is the very interesting process where I am using 2 needles and this yarn to make this fabric. You can also enjoy during the lockdown this knitting. Right? Here, what happens when one of the block used to get over? It used to unwind and the whole fabric used to get open into yarn. That is why I said that one yarn used to make the woolen fabric. Right? This you see in case of your socks also. When the socks gets hold, so the socks used to start to tear in this way. Right? Weaving and knitting are used for making different kinds of fabric. These fabrics are used for a variety of clothing items. History of clothing materials. Here, it appears that in past times, which I have already told you, people used the bark and big leaves of trees or animal skins and furs to cover themselves. After people began to settle in agricultural communities, they learned to weave twigs and grass into mats and baskets. Vines, animal fleece or hair were twisted together into long strands. These were woven into fabrics. The early Indians wore fabrics made out of cotton that grew in the regions near the river Ganga. Flax is also a plant that gives natural fiber. Already I have told example of plant fiber: cotton, jute, flax and coir, which is what? Coconut fiber. In ancient Egypt, cotton as well as flax were cultivated into the river Nile and were used for making fabrics. In those days, stitching was not known. People simply draped the fabrics around different parts of their body. Many different ways of draping fabrics were used. With the invention of the sewing needle, people started stitching fabrics to make clothes. Stitched clothes have gone through many variations since this invention, but Is it not amazing that even today sari, dhoti, lungi or turban is used as an unstitched piece of fabric? Just as there is a large variety in the food eaten all over our country, a large variety exists also in fabrics and clothing items. In this activity, I want to show you children fibers which are natural, है ना? They have as a different touch. When you touch the cotton, it is a smooth. When you touch the jute, rough. Silk is used to be very shiny and the wool used to be very fluffy. It used to contain a lots of air. That's why it keeps you warm in winter, है ना? So it when there is a test, burning test, right? When the fiber which is obtained from the plant, when we burn it, so it used to smell like burning of paper. And we burned all these fibers, you know, cotton, jute, wool and silk. So we get the different patterns, right? So we burned all these fibers, you know, cotton, jute, wool and silk. So we get the different patterns, right? For example, I'm just showing you the burning test of cotton. When I burn this cotton, so first cotton catches fire very slowly. It doesn't fire quickly, you know, catch fires quickly. When I am showing this to you, see, it has burned and the burn, it's a smell. It smells like the burning of paper. When we burn the jute fiber, so here we see that jute fibers also burns in the same way as cotton fibers have burned, and yes, it also smells like burning of paper. When I try it with the silk, you know, silk, we get the silk from the silkworm, an insect, silkworm, right? So when from the cocoon of silkworm. When we burn the silk fibers, so it is used to burn and it doesn't smell like burning of paper. It smells like burning of hairs, right? So this silkworm, this silk fiber burns and smell like burning of hairs, which we get from the cocoons of silkworm. So this is what ki animal fibers, identification of animal fiber. Same when we do with the wool. So wool we get from the sheep, as you know, sheep is an animal. So when the fiber burns, so it also smells like, when the pure wool fiber burns, see, it is mixture, you know, not the pure. So when wool fiber burns, so it burns, it also smells like burning of hair. I hope you enjoyed this activity, but don't try yourself alone. Try it with your seniors, with the parents, and smell, you will get that which fiber is plant source fiber or which fiber is animal source fiber. I have tried well to explain you this chapter, and to make it easy to understand by you, I have taken lots of activities also. So if you liked the chapter, subscribe my channel for the new chapters of your class. Thank you. Have a nice day.